Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Sunday edition of the Paranormal Weekend Morning Brew Show. I'm Nighthawk, and we have Eric, my brother Eric, from my Missouri mother down there, and who has had probably no sleep
Very
and
little
running on
bit.
pure caffeine, running on pure
Very.
caffeine.
I got a couple hour nap, man. I was like, oh, no, we'll get her done dead though.
Oh, I don't know about you, man. You enjoy burning that candle at both ends, don't you?
Dude, I love investigations. I love doing this is why I do this stuff. And I love putting the stuff out there for everybody. I mean, I've got several hours of audio and video I've still got to go through after last night. But this is what I do. This is what I love, man. Yeah.
Good.
And I'll tell you, you guys will not absolutely, if you love paranormal, will not be disappointed at what I captured last night.
Yeah, Eric and I were
Mm.
just backstage before the start of the podcast, and we were comparing equipment that we have that
Mm.
we both use, and we got into the topic of cameras and stuff, and none other than Melissa and David that are in the chat um, are probably the two people that I would recognize the most knowledgeable as far as camera usage are for investigations, from paranormal to
Mm.
supernatural to cryptid, all kinds of stuff, because you need different cameras for different things, like the full
Oh
spectrum
yeah.
camera, and and IR cameras, and how they say IR cameras basically are seen by certain cryptids, so they're not any good in investigations, but
Mm.
I've had no problem using them.
Yeah. I've still got stuff that I need to get. I get what I can when I can. But even with what equipment I have, I've never disappointed.
Yep, yep. Excuse me, I had to swallow my coffee. Anyways, I hope everybody's got their drinks ready. I don't know what you're drinking, and I don't know if I want to know, because some of you guys might be a little hardcore there. So if it's Shine or that kind of stuff, feel free. But
Dude,
we
that'd
didn't
be
even
good
really
right
have a
now.
subject matter because, you know, my stint in the hospital last week, I didn't prepare for a Sunday show, so we're basically running this one off the cuff. Okay, so you know, I did some video taping the other night when it was real dark. It wasn't overcast. It was like the moon was real low in the sky. Um, so there was hardly any moon glow. But I did some videotaping out there in the dark, and I used the flashlight David gave me too. Um, that basically, I'm pretty sure that I caught something that shouldn't have been captured in the sky, and I'm reviewing it, and I'm looking it over, and the more I look at it, and the more I try to figure out what I'm looking at, because that's what we do. We have to question everything. Um,
Mm.
the more it looks like, yeah, the objects that were filmed by NASA in outer space, that looked kind of like a circle with a hollow center, circle area in the hollow center, looked like a donut. I mean, it really did. So hazelnut coffee and cream and sugar. Yeah, Candy, that's awesome. Hazelnut coffee is
Mm.
one of my favorites. I can't say it's my favorite because right now my favorite is the bourbon vanilla by Jim Beam. Yeah. So
I'm drinking Death Wish again.
uh, but anyways, getting back to that the object, I mean it was really something. And I'm gonna try and find a better night where it's more clear and brighter in the night sky, so I can get a better video of it and record it. Because it seems to be there, you know, periodically. So, um, again, I want to apologize, like I said, for last week. I also want to apologize because StreamYard is giving me the free format, and you know, now that they've done that, I can't upload pictures, I can't upload videos, and I'm thinking to myself, well, what in the hell good is StreamYard if you can't use those certain functions, you know? So,
Right.
but you know, we'll get through it. Um, I have a lot of medical bills I got to pay for, so um, well, thank you, Gemini Moon. Good to see you. Hobbit, good to see you. Roxanne, good to see you. Larry, good to see you. Candy, good to see you. Let me see who else. David and Melissa in the
Hey,
chat. Good. Let's see who else. I know there's probably somebody I'm missing. I know it. I know there's somebody I'm missing. If I missed you, I'm sorry. I will make it up to you somehow. Okay. So, what exactly were you investigating? I'm just kind of curious. Was it a building? Was it property? Was
yeah.
it, you know?
Well, the building, the castle, it's called Pythian Castle. It's in Springfield, Missouri, and it is built by the Knights of Pythia. The military took over it in 1942, and then later on was sold to the private owner that owns it now. And when I was stationed at the reserve unit, which is right next door to the Pythian, in the early 2000s, I knew right away that place was chock full of paranormal activity. I could feel it, and
Mhm.
it was great because I was able to, I'm not trying to toot my own horn or anything, but when I feel the activity, I feel the energy. I kind of gravitate toward that area, and that's why I get so successful finding paranormal stuff. And
Right.
that's what I was doing last night, and I was getting confirmation after confirmation after confirmation.
Hey,
Hey,
Kyle.
Kyle, confirmation on stuff last night when I was like, dude, I feel something here, and then also like once when they were doing the tour, I
Uh huh.
looked and we was in Petey's room, and I looked in the corner. I could have swore I seen this little boy in the corner. And right after I was telling my buddy and his son, because they're the ones that invited me on that Hey, Dario, in the
Hey, Derek.
investigation, she goes, yeah, PD likes to, there's always usually an apparition or a noise that comes from this corner over here. And it was that corner I literally just seen the little boy in. Now, PD
Huh.
messed with me all night long. PD followed me everywhere. So I mean, it was fun, but it's an old castle. You can look it up, and I'll type it in here. Um, and get an idea. Oh shit! I guess it'd help if I took my caps locks off. Okay, y'all.
Yeah.
Yeah, forgive me. I'm still, I'm still not with it. Uh,
Kyle, where are you driving to? Are you driving to Tennessee right now? I'm just curious. I saw it come up in the chat. I wanted to just
yeah,
kind of
they
curious to see.
came
Go
Knights
ahead.
of
Go ahead.
Pythia. They were an all male fraternity, and this was not their lodge. This was a home for retired Pythians and their families, orphaned and widowed Pythian members, for them to come and stay until 1942 when the U.S. Army took it over and built the hospital right there. Um, so I mean
Okay. Wow.
that's what that whole place was, and there is so much paranormal activity there. My God, I was having stuff all night long there.
Hmm. Yeah,
Hey, Tracy.
it's kind of like when I was at the hospital this past weekend. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
if you ever have a doubt that hospitals aren't haunted, man, it's like I said yesterday. Um,
Mm-hmm.
it's amazing how haunted they are. It's amazing there isn't things
Mm-hmm.
moving around there on its own the whole time people are there and being active during the day. It's amazing to me because the number
Mm-hmm.
of spirits that I interacted with while I was in that hospital, it had to be 30 or 40 of them continually, you know. And one
Mm-hmm.
of them was, like I said, one of them was never born into this world, so it wasn't even human. So it's like there's so much activity around us. I mean, and if you think about it, all the Civil War battlefields all over the country, even where
Mm-hmm.
Tracy and I live right now, you know, we actually live on a battle site, of the Civil War. And it's amazing what kind of activity you get. A lot of people say, oh, no, no, no. But to me, the ground is like a almost like a sponge when it comes to paranormal
Mm-hmm.
energy. And when it releases that energy is when you get these spikes in activities, from lightning storms, earthquakes, volcanic eruptions, all that type of activity, environmentally wise, has to play a pivotal role in causing the paranormal activity to
Mm-hmm.
increase. It really
It
does.
does.
And, we all know that, like paranormal activity next to a river or a stream or any type of running water, you're going to have that activity because it gets the energy from that, you know,
Mm-hmm.
it gets the energy from that running water. So why couldn't it do the same with earthquakes and volcanoes and, you know, anything else that happens?
Yeah.
Lightning storms, hurricanes, for example. And I hate to say that, but that is an example of something where it would heighten up activity. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. What do you guys think?
I mean, I agree 100%. If you guys keep hearing dinging, sorry. I'm still downloading stuff from last night. I'm trying to transfer the last of my stuff, which is on my cell phone, uh, to my computer because I got to start going through this stuff. So if you
You
hear
got to
that
get
dinging,
that
I
thing to go.
apologize.
You got to change the ding there, Eric. You got to make it go diggity diggity.
I need it to, man. That'd be awesome if I'm able to get her done that way. But no, I mean it's pretty much proven fact. Anywhere that's had a lot of negativity, a lot of death,
Morning,
you're
Ida.
going to have paranormal, supernatural, and cryptid activity in them places. Yeah, I mean it's how it is. Finally got the last of it. Um, so yeah, uh, Candy's got
Yeah.
a question here. Do you think heightened activity is partially caused by too much intensifying till it overloads? No, I mean possibly. I just think it's because of all the death and the anger and the hate and the negativity in the area, which is what causes it. I know areas that's got um, very little of that stuff had happened there, and it's chock full of paranormal activity.
Yeah.
I just
Well,
think the negativity.
and you're going to have paranormal activity on a normal level anywhere in the
Yeah.
world, on a
Hmm.
normal level. Okay. But it's when I think she's talking about when it gets excessively over the normal
Yeah.
levels of activity. And, I think it's kind of like, yeah, it would be kind of like, if you have a soup pot and you make too much soup and it overflows when it heats, you know, onto the burner. We've all done it, or something along that
Mm.
lines. Um, Good morning, Scott. Um, you know, we have that possibility of it intensifying, like that, and boiling over, because a lot of the energy that is even in the paranormal and supernatural
Would you like some breakfast?
areas, are going to be more emotionally charged, you know, so it's gonna produce a stronger, effect of it.
Yeah.
And
Well,
the blood soaked ground, yeah, that has something to play in it. And I always talk about the LBL, you know, Land Between the Lakes, and
mm,
there's over 200 grave sites and cemeteries in the LBL, you know, and when you have that much death, all that energy goes up into a peak, okay, and it'll peak itself at certain times of the year, the seasons, the hours of the night or the day. Something supercharges that, and it would make sense to me that in order to get that initial charge up and active, it would take like maybe a minor earthquake, or maybe um, something else, environmentally happening to trigger that initial, upstart of activity. I don't know. It
for
just makes sense to me.
for me, when you get a lot of negativity and a lot of blood, I see more of an uptick in supernatural and cryptid than I do paranormal. Um,
Hmm.
that's usually in tragic areas like that, is you'll see a ton of supernatural and cryptid activity in that area. I mean, there's going to
Right.
be paranormal there. That's just a given. But go to places like with very little activity, you don't have a whole lot of supernatural or cryptid activity in the area. Sometimes cryptid, maybe supernatural, you really don't. Now you get into them areas that's got all that death and that negativity and that anger and that hatred, and man, just the supernatural side of it. That's what's just like blown out of the water.
Right.
It really
Yeah,
is in them areas.
I can honestly say, from being on the receiving end of this aspect of it, the
Hmm.
closer you are, it doesn't even, I don't think it even really matters on how in tune your sensitivity is to the paranormal and supernatural.
Hmm.
I think it's more of how close you can be to becoming part of that activity, if you know what I mean. Um,
Yeah.
I don't want to use the words, okay, but
Right.
if you become part of that spirit world, whether it's part time from an NDE experience,
Hmm.
which you and I have both had, and several other people have had. And I know there's a couple in the chat. Um, you know, I think that also heightens it, the abilities of the individual to see the paranormal and supernatural, and even the
Yeah.
cryptid. So, just, if you're sensitive and you were brought up a way I was brought up, with all the dark magic and everything, and then you have a near death experience, a couple times on top of that, you know,
Hmm.
it's like turning the amplifier from a 2 to a plus 11, and there's really, you either learn to control it and start to channel it, like I've learned over the years. Certain things I can focus on, and certain things I can just, say, okay, I'm going to wait and look at that later, you know. Um, and I know for a fact we have people in the chat right now. Candy, Melissa, I know you've seen some things and had some activity around your place. Um, you know, Cynthia, I'm sure everybody in the chat has had some kind of paranormal activity ramp up when they're around. So,
Hmm.
and I put this question out to everybody in the chat. Since you have noticed that there is a paranormal and supernatural world around you, how much has it increased that you have personally seen? Um, you can answer that in percentage wise. You can answer it in, however you want. Um, I'm just kind of curious. within the last 10 years, how much do you think it's increased?
I know for me, it's definitely increased for me. And that's why I posed that question on here before in my show before. It's like, is that because we're not practicing the old methods that are our elders and our ancestors practice? Is that because of CERN kicking off their crap? I mean, the possibilities of why it's intaked or is increased is it's hard to say. I mean, and sadly, every theory has a bit of truth in it. So the possibility of all this stuff combined together causing it, can't dispute that as well.
Right, right.
Look at all the deaths we had from that jabby jab. Um,
The,
that's going
oh,
to put that's going
by the way,
to.
just so you know, I see Cynthia says about 70%.
Mm,
Hard to put a percentage on it for me, says David.
yeah.
Well, I mean, just you don't even have to put a percentage on it. Just
Mm,
has it increased extensively? Has it increased a little bit? Has it increased mildly? You know, and
a
then
lot.
what aspect of the paranormal has increased for you? Like what type of activity? Is it orbs that you're seeing? Is it residual energy from EVPs? Is it, objects moving, just kind of, describe, if you can, you know,
For,
what
for
kind of
me, it's a
activity.
little bit of all that. For me, it's a little
Yeah.
bit of all that. Like last night, I think I caught about 30 or 40 orbs. I mean, the
Okay.
whole time I was there last night, and that's in one area. You know,
Right.
uh, but far as EVPs, I mean, I'm getting more and more EVPs. I'm getting more and more. I've talked about this several times. And a full body apparition is extremely rare. A shadow figure or misty apparition is rare, but you're going to find that more than you do a full body. And I'm starting to see more of that stuff now than I used to. Um,
Right.
I mean, I'm seeing it increased on really on all fields of the paranormal. Used to be it was mainly energy, and you would hear things. And then every great once in a while, you was lucky to catch a mist, a shadow, or a full body. Now
Right.
I'm seeing it. I mean, more and more than what I used to. I mean,
Right.
crap tons more than I used to.
Hmm.
So I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, no,
Like I
that's
said, I was
part
just
of it too.
curious. Yeah. Yeah. CERN is a big, and this is what
Mhm.
ticks me off. I have done so much research into CERN lately, and I actually, that 12-year theory thing that I actually talked about 1988 formula.
Mhm.
I actually did research on CERN and what activity it was over individually 12-year
Mhm.
periods, all the way back to the 1920s. I found that there were either discussions on by scientists at a secret location, talking about CERN and the possibility of that type of
Mhm.
science being, mainstream again. Um, all the way back to the 1920s, I found that it
Mhm.
lined up with a 12-year period. Every test that CERN did lined up with a 12-year period. When they started construction of the Hadron Collider in Switzerland, that was the start of a 12-year period. So CERN
Mhm.
definitely is playing a very, very, very pivotal role in contributing to a lot of the weird stuff that's been going on in the world. So, it's not all of it, but, I do believe they are. Yeah, the
Yeah.
research on Scott's talking about with HARP, we did a big podcast on that just a little bit ago,
Mhm.
disclosing a lot of the HARP
Mhm.
facility stuff. So yeah, we
Well, I had that whistleblower too.
yep.
I don't know, feel like person like in here is moving a little wind around me. So, yeah, I actually got. Oh, you are a godsend.
I gotta move my
Yeah, no, I'm running.
the
I
same
started
one.
tapping into my extra one. Hi, boy. Sorry, guys, my daughter's topping off my coffee. Thank you.
Deathwish one.
Huh?
Where's mine?
Deathwish one.
You can do Death Witch if you want, or if you want to go back to the Black Rifle, either one,
Okay.
whichever one you want. Hi, boy.
No,
Sorry, I'm being surrounded by dogs now.
That's all right. That's all right. Makes for great content.
Yeah, I buddy, I'm trying to move my mouse and click on things, and you're
Oh,
you're
really? Look at what Cynthia says. Look at what Cynthia says. That's amazing. I believe I
Oh,
actually
wow.
seen a clone the other night. Are you sure it might have been a clone, or could it have been like maybe a doppelganger from another parallel dimension?
Yeah. You know, and thing is look at all these companies that came out about clone. I mean, even Disney's came out and admitted they create clones for their actors, for their shows, for their entertainment. I mean,
Well, yeah,
so
and
many.
look at what was that one short little actor that supposedly should have died in that car accident? The comedian Kevin Hart. Yeah,
Kevin Hart.
he even came out and said that he has 2 or 3 clones, and he wasn't joking about it. You know, he was actually serious when he said it.
Now you see, he tried to play it off as a joke towards the end, but when he was telling it, he was pretty serious. I want to get back up here to Dario real quick because I got interrupted. I live alone and I feel a presence like the air moving like a little wind around me. Sometimes, exceptionally, when I have dinner and watch TV for me and my grandparents' house. Could be my grandparents' spirits because I live there. That's possible. You know, like last night, I had my EVP app going that reads out what they're saying. And it was, I can't remember, it said something, then it said scratch. And then, like, just a few moments later, I get a touch right here on my cheek. So, I mean, that stuff is definitely happens, buddy.
The best
and don't
little
worry about
object,
your ego. We understand.
the best little objects you could ever buy for $1 or so are these cat balls. And these things are the greatest if you want to actually interact and you have, you have no means financially to do it. Just go buy one of these cat balls at a pet store, okay, that light up and blink. And you could literally put this on the floor or somewhere. And there's several ways that spirit can talk to you through this device here. They can either tap it to turn it on and off, or they can see it just turned off, or they could roll it, towards you for yes and away from you for no. So I mean, these little things here are the coolest things for, like, not only, I think I paid like $1.07 for this thing, and I got a couple of them, but and where I got it off of Temu, whoopee, it works.
I mean, I use the same things. Scott's got a question here. It says, I'm curious if anyone else believes that if they stopped weather manipulation, weather would revert back to normal. I believe they will.
Yeah, I think they would. It would take some time, but yes, I do believe that if eventually it would definitely revert back to normal, because how people talk about, it's Mother Earth is alive as far as our people are concerned, the native people, the indigenous inhabitants. So it would make sense. It's kind of like if you don't go to a barber shop and cut your hair is going to grow. Well, it's the same principle as that. If you don't do something to affect Mother Earth and the environment in a harsh way, it will eventually reclaim itself and cleanse itself, and start anew. So What's that? Oh, your cat balls?
That's I
Yeah.
got one too. These. I'm telling you,
Yeah,
this
those
is
things are
probably for one. What few bucks you spend on this here is probably one of the most effective paranormal tools you can have on an investigation. Last
exactly,
night
exactly.
I've had them mess with it twice last night, and
Yeah.
I caught it on camera. In all honesty, that's why I agree with you. I mean, I have them too. I have four of them. I keep two in my bag at a time, so I always put these up in different locations.
Right.
I'll have one semi close to me and one away from me, because sometimes, like last night, when PD was following me around, was talking to me, wanting to play with me,
Uh-huh.
they'll interact with it close to you. Now, sometimes if they're skittish, they'll want to interact with it, but they want it away from you. So that's why I always keep one semi close to me and one away from me for whichever situation I'm in.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
I still got my camera bag out. I just finished downloading stuff, so I mean, I got all my camera and audio equipment that sits right in here that I use.
Yeah. I got my
Close to me.
camera here. I gotta finish doing the editing on that one short video I took the other night of that UFO object out in the sky. Um, I can't believe how vivid it was. It literally looks like some of the stuff you see from the NASA satellite
Mm.
images. You know, so
Yeah. Larry says I stumbled into more of the white envelope videos. Wow.
has
Laser
anybody
lights are
ever
good.
has anybody ever
Mhm.
experienced what they call the backstage videos? Has anybody ever seen those? I'm kind of curious. It's where this one guy, this one Hispanic guy, videotapes places where there would be high activity, like malls
Mhm.
and hospitals and hotels and all that, and there's literally nobody around. And he's supposed to be in a parallel universe, and
Oh yeah.
he interacts with people in this world, in this universe, and people
Mhm.
will ask him to do certain things, like hide certain objects somewhere so they can be found in our
Mhm.
universe, and they're found, you know. Um, and there's no way of this guy getting in to the buildings and stuff or the places because of the security for him to be able to put the items there. So I'm kind of 50-50 on thinking that that is a possibility that somehow some way the guy has figured out a frequency to be used to communicate with a parallel universe.
Yeah. Uh, Man, I don't know. I don't know. I don't get a good
Hey,
vibe from
Larry.
that dude, so I don't know. Now, I mean, I've got to watch some more of his stuff. One thing here, yeah, those laser grids that you're talking about, David. I want to get one. Eventually, I'll have one. Them things work great as well. I definitely want one. But yeah, that back rooms guy, I don't know. I'm up in the air on him.
Yeah, they did the thing where he was supposed to hide a certain object on a news station's
Yeah.
sound stage or video stage for live news feeds, and they made sure that the building was locked down. The security guard was there. The security guard was not related to the guy. He was not. He didn't even know the guy. So they made sure that they had all the dots and all the cameras were on. And the one thing that the cameras caught on the sound stage of the newsroom was the double
Mhm.
doors opening and then closing behind it, and nobody was there.
They
but
did
yet
catch
the
a
opposite.
glimpse of him. It was like when they slowed down the frames, they did catch a glimpse of him on there. I can't say that it's not real. I don't know yet, because you got to think about that. CNN's losing ratings, so I could see them actually jumping into something like that, to bring their ratings up. I don't know, man.
I'm kind of
I
curious
don't know.
as to what Candy means by nobody is around anyway. I'm kind of curious, Candy, as to if you could, you know, divulge a little bit more of that theory. Are you talking about maybe the just us
She's talking
being
about that video
participating?
right here. She was commenting on this. Cars are idling, cop lights flashing, way weird. And then she goes, nobody around anywhere.
Oh,
Yeah, she's
okay.
talking about that
All
video.
right. All right.
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen the video you guys are talking about. If it is an actual true video and not something made up to bring up ratings or get clickbait, it's some really cool crap, man. It really is. I'm on the fence with it right now. I'm not one of those that jumps right on the bandwagon as soon as something new comes out. I want to wait a while, kind of analyze things and see what plays out.
Well, I study a lot of the back room theories too, though. So
There's a
I've
lot
been
out there.
intrigued. Yeah, I've been intrigued by that type of a theory too. Um,
Well, the
I mean,
back room theory.
yeah, anything's possible though, Eric. I mean, when you think about
Yeah.
the whole the whole spectrum of the way things have been happening, especially
Mhm.
with CERN and God knows how many other facilities around the world um, are doing weird stuff. To the
Yeah.
timelines, to the portals opening, to this, that, and the other thing. I mean, they have messed with our world so much that we don't know what's up and what's down anymore. We really don't.
hmm I mean, the back room theory has been around for what, 30, 40 years, give or take
Hmm.
10. I mean,
Hmm.
it's been around for a while.
Yeah.
It's definitely within the realm of possibility. I mean, it fits with a lot of the ancient stuff. Don't get me wrong. I'm definitely not saying it's not possible, but I've seen way too often where they could fake stuff like that. Like, people that, like the aldermen, mayors, or whatever will block off an area to be able to do a shoot like that. And then it's coming out being something else. Hey, girl, Nagong.
Yeah, girl in the gone.
So, I mean, them doing that stuff to bring up ratings, especially considering where the headquarters are and who's in charge of that area, is not out of that realm of possibility.
Right.
At the
I
same
just,
time, it is not out of the realm of possibility of it being real. It absolutely can be real. I'm just giving it a little bit more time before I jump on that bandwagon and say this is definitely something real. What I'm going to say is it is definitely credible. It is definitely cool. It is definitely intriguing. I just want more input on it first.
yeah. I'm not saying that it's real. I'm just saying that I thought it was really cool, and I have been
It is.
researching it lately. So, but yeah, I'm not saying that it's real, but
No.
if he's pulling it off somehow, man, that'd be the guy to have all kinds of stuff to if you had a tech problem, that'd be the guy to solve it, if you ask
Yeah.
me.
Well, and the thing is people with technology now, you can do that stuff. If you got the
Yeah,
smarts on how to do it, they do that stuff they edit stuff out of digital video all the time.
yeah,
So I
but
mean,
think
you
about
don't
a
have to be.
mall though. Think about a mall though. It's like that one video that's going around the internet now. You see it all the time on Facebook, where the people are sitting on the park bench and then all of a sudden they disappear, and the people that were
Mm-hmm.
sitting down from them notice them disappearing, you know, and it's you see people walking down a sidewalk and 1 second they're there and the next they're blipped out, they're gone. Think
Mm-hmm.
about the amount of people in a mall that you would have to literally
Mm-hmm.
edit out of a
Oh,
video. Think
Yeah,
about the amount of
it'd take
people
some time.
in a church or a hospital that you would have to take the time to edit out every individual thing, you know? It'd be next
It'd
to
take some
impossible.
time. Oh, it would take some time. It's not impossible, but it would take some time.
Mhm.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, it really, I mean, I hate to say this, but this is what really kills investigators nowadays is because
Right,
there's too much of this fraudulent shit happening that you can't just go, wow, this is really, really cool because we see evidence of this stuff every single day. Every
right.
single day you're seeing this stuff.
Well, and then there's the thing too, though. Do we stick a label that it's fake on it without even
Hmm.
investigating it, the possibility of it? Or do we investigate and research the possibility of it happening and find out that it may not be that far fetched, that it could
Right.
happen possibly with the right
Hmm.
dynamics. But the right dynamics have to be in play, just like we talked about the paranormal activity kicking up and the supernatural activity kicking up with the
Hmm.
environment. Certain
Yeah.
parts of the dynamics of the incident have to be established before it can happen. And, so
Yeah.
I don't know.
And that's why I'll say I can't jump on that bad bandwagon. Is it cool? Absolutely, it's cool. Could it be a
Yeah, well,
possibility? Absolutely, it could be a possibility, but I just can't jump on that bandwagon without further investigation, further evidence, further knowledge on the situation to go. This I lean more towards this being a good possibility, and that's where like what you said, the investigation comes in. Hey, Pyramid, that is where all this comes in. Now, when we have, and sadly, we have to now
pyramid.
as investigators approach things this way. I hate to say it, but we have to approach it this way now because of all this AI, because
Right.
of all this video editing, because of all this clickbait crap that's going on. People who are not true investigators who's just trying to get a subscription count built through the roof because I'm a superstar. I've got thousands upon thousands of followers, and it's all their shit is fake. That type of people is what's killing us on the investigative side because we're seeing it way too much anymore. So
Okay, guys, let's keep the political stuff down in the chat, please, because I don't need to be censored. Our video from yesterday, our live from yesterday, I got demonetized because of somebody saying something in the chat politically wise that I didn't catch. So please
what? I
be
missed it.
gracious. I know you guys are friends and stuff in the chat, and we all have disagreements and stuff with certain aspects of our
Mm.
lives, but let's not worry about that whole thing. It's all in God's hands. It's in the Creator's hands. So let's just leave it at that. Okay.
Why do you
Yeah, I
get
know
to
you're
sleep
kidding,
when
Larry. I
you
know,
slept
but
all night?
I know Larry's
You
kidding, but
slept all night.
it's just they demonetized yesterday, and after spending the time in the hospital and getting all those medical bills yet racked up. Oh my God, man! I got another one in the other day. I had no idea it was that much to stay in a hospital for one night, more or less 3 nights. uh,
Dude, I was up all night investigating. You were sleeping in my bed. How can you still be sleeping now?
he
The
says
life of a
because I'm
dog
cute.
is freaking amazing. You are so lucky, dude. You're just like,
Hey, Snow. Hey, Snow. You gonna answer your name? Hey, baby.
Snow, they're talking to you. They're talking to you. You want to say
Snow.
hi to him?
Snow. What you
He's
doing,
like, dude, I'm
Snow?
going back. He's like, I'm going back to sleep.
He's got a fluffy pillow to lay on.
He does. Hey, Jessica,
Hey, Jessica.
little bird. He sleeps. He sleeps in my bed every time I'm gone, and You know, dude, you got me. There you go. But then I get on to do something like this, and he's like, "Hey, dude, nap time." I was like, "Dude, I wish I could
It's like,
sleep like you do." Uh, so,
anyways, though, with the whole back room thing, I think it's just kind of fascinating how the guy can pull it off because he's got to be some kind of technical wizard. He really does.
mm,
And then the back room
yeah,
things too, where they show people falling through some kind of like alleged portal or opening in time and space and falling into these back
mm,
rooms where there's nobody and they're filming and being chased by something. That's just got that whole Stranger Things kind of a theory to it or feel to it. You know what I mean? So
it does. But and like I said, though, that's what makes it hard for us investigators now is because of all this AI shit and all this
exactly,
fake crap. I mean, they literally
exactly,
can create videos with people's voices out of thin air now. And unless you actually study and watch that video,
uh
you'd
huh,
swear to God it was real. And that's
yeah,
where I have problems with it.
yeah. I agree with you there. They the effects that are being done right now um with a lot of even gaming systems. I mean, look at how realistic a lot
Mm-hmm.
of the gaming systems look nowadays. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it looks like you're actually acting as a real live person in 3D form. It's amazing. The effects are amazing.
That is. Hello, Ryan. It is, and that's what makes it so hard. Um, but you know, it's both a blessing and a curse what we can do with this stuff now. I mean, it's a
Yeah.
blessing because we can create some really cool shit, but it's a
Well,
curse because people use it for wrong, and it really ruins this stuff. Now, we all know. I mean, for years they've had people coming in and faking being investigators or faking videos to discredit us so that we can't get the word out.
right.
Several things that people's jumped on a bandwagon. The
Alarm.
CIA's openly admitted, yeah, we done that just to throw people off. CIA
Exactly.
whistleblowers have came out and talked about. We told you this to get people to think this way, so that way you don't think for yourself, and it's easier to control you. I won't say
Right.
what subject it is, but it's brought up in here. That subject is brought in here quite often.
Yeah.
Um, that was straight from the horse's mouth saying, "Yeah, we created that theory."
Yeah.
It's all that is in there, and that's what hurts. That's why I love what I do. So anytime I do an investigation and I put it on my show, you're getting what I catch. It's I don't do CGI. I do AI for like my pictures to for my book covers or to
Right.
kind of get a grasp of what I'm talking about. Absolutely, because I don't have pictures to be able to put up to substantiate that. And I'm not going to steal somebody else's pictures to do it. I don't like doing that.
Right.
Now that
Right.
I've learned how to do this stuff, that's why you start seeing less and less of them pictures I've gotten from other people to use because I don't like doing that. So
Right.
yes, do I do it in that manner? Absolutely. And I tell you guys straight off the bat, sit right there, thank you, baby. I tell you guys straight off the bat, this is artwork that I created. This is from my mind. Uh, so I'm a big believer in doing that. Uh, when it comes to actual investigation footage, 100% real.
Yeah.
And I was trying to explain to people last night because there was a bunch of people there last night, and they're all excited. And I was like, I'm trying to. I said, you guys need to understand something. When you do an investigation, even in an area that is really really hot, don't always mean you're going to catch something. I've been in
Hey,
areas that I've
Demaria.
investigated and I've had hot activity, and I come back doing another investigation and I absolutely have nothing. You cannot ever go into an investigation expecting that you're going to get a 100% find. If you do that, you're setting yourself up for
Hey,
failure.
Judy.
I have now 3 dogs in this room with me. At
That's awesome.
least
Get
the
'em,
goats will be
boys.
gone today. Well, my daughter brought my breakfast in, so I've got a dog here, and a dog here now.
Well, that's why you got your breakfast. They want to eat it.
Heck yeah. So I mean, and that's when you guys are doing this stuff, people who's inspiring to be an investigator, inspiring to learn this stuff. I can never stress to you how important it is to understand that very fact right there. Now,
Right, exactly.
I've gone on to investigations that seemed extremely credible, but I found plenty of evidence where people were creating this activity so that way they can get some clickbait. And you're
Yeah,
going to
see,
run into that on investigation as well.
that's one thing I will never do. I will never worry about trying to manipulate. It's like these people that put like in their announcements for their podcasts and stuff, um barely escaped with my life. And then you get on their
Yeah.
podcast and it's like, well, what happened with the title? I mean, I thought you were, you know what I mean? So it's like people
Yeah.
that see their clones and stuff, um, that don't talk about it. They say, "Oh yeah, I saw my clone once," and then they go on to another subject. So I don't know. It is
Yeah.
what it is. It's a mixed bag of nuts right now, and we're just the squirrels trying to collect as many as possible to figure out what's going on. So I that's the best way to put it.
Yeah.
So
Hey, Judy. Thank you, Immortal. I appreciate that. I try to keep everything as legit as possible. Yeah, exactly. The girl, no expectations, And the problem is, this is where Holly Scrooge is also screwed us investigators. If they put all this drama out there, and people now think when you go do an investigation, they're expecting you are psyching yourself up for a false encounter.
right,
And you're setting yourself up for failure in places that don't have the activity level that everybody else does.
right.
This is why I hate when they do that. I hate these reality shows, investigators that they put on. All that crap is BS, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Judy, I was
agree.
there
I
last
agree,
night. In fact,
Immortal.
I just got home.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree
I
with
was there
Immortal
last
on
night.
that
I just
comment.
got home. Yeah. Oh yeah. You got to and that's why I put that up. Or you got to.
Yeah.
But Judy, I was there last night. I just got home a couple hours ago, and when I get the stuff released, it's going to be a while before I can get the investigation put out because I've got several hours of audio, several hours of video I've got to go through. The uncut stuff will be on my Patreon. So if you're one of my subscribed Patreon members, just like any other investigation I have, the uncut raw 100% footage is going to be on there for YouTube, for my YouTube channel. I'm going to basically, I
Hey,
have to
Kevin.
cut the hours down. So it's only going to have the stuff that I found. So if you
Yeah.
want to see the raw uncut version, that'll be on my Patreon. I would have to have a mind activated camera because I couldn't hold on to film. It gets hard, Candy. It gets hard. It really does. I'm trying to get caught up in the comments. I'm sorry.
That's all right.
Yeah,
That's
you
all
got
right.
to.
I was just
The girl. You're absolutely right. You've got to be open to experience and stay vigilant, but you also got to keep an open mind. Hey, Kevin, and understand you're not always going to find something. Yeah. Now, last
Kevin's
night
at the gun
was
range.
one. Yeah. Last night, man, there was a lot of activity last night. A crap ton of activity, visual, audio. I mean, just a crap ton of it last night.
Yeah. Now
So,
here's a question too, though. Seeing I mean, spirit activity, you would think it has to happen all the time. I know from my interactions throughout the day, You can ask Tracy. I see all kinds of weird crap. I mean,
Mhm.
it just is what it is, but when it comes to spirit activity, it's almost like they are prepared to in advance to drain every piece of equipment
Mhm.
when people are on location.
Yeah.
And I have in
Mhm.
fact taken the plasma balls that you can touch, and it connects the
Mhm.
lightning strikes to your fingertips and all that. I actually took one of
Yep.
those on an investigation in Maryland one time, and had it hooked up to a battery pack and made it mobile. And
Mhm.
they literally, you could see them touching the plasma ball, but nothing would be there. But the lightning would connect to the fingertips of where their hand
Mhm.
was, which is really, really something. Some of the stuff that you see, um, it can't be faked. I mean,
Yeah.
if I would have filmed that, I know darn well if I would have filmed that and put that online, people would have accused it of being fake. But it wasn't. So the
Mhm.
way I come out of an investigation, if I can debunk it, I'll debunk it.
Yep.
If
That's
I
what I
can
would. Yeah.
confirm it, I will confirm it. You know,
Mhm.
I won't come out of an investigation saying that the place is haunted, or that there is a demonic activity level there that's stronger than most
Mhm.
places. I won't come out and say that right away. I will go back with that evidence, like you said, and
Yep.
go back and review the evidence, and then review it another time and another time before I release the findings, because you
Yep.
got to go over it 3 or 4 different times, because you may miss something that you didn't catch previously.
Yep.
So,
Yeah. I mean, take last weekend. I after almost a year, I was finally able to confirm. Well, I guess it was probably 8 months ago when I did that investigation down at Shade Beaver. I put in this is a possibility of a facial apparition that we caught on this wall. I never said 100%. This is it. Now, when I went there last weekend and snapped pictures of that same area and could not recreate the fog, and I could not recreate that face on that very same wall from different angles, that told me, even the angle that we originally took the picture from, that confirmed it for me, that I'm pretty convinced. That's why I said last weekend, and I showed the video or the pictures of them, that we actually caught a face of a specter.
right.
Um, to David's deal comment here, you're absolutely correct, buddy. That's why that was the only show that I ever watched, because Jason Hawes and them were about the investigation. And they'll tell you, man, there was no activity here, or there was, or oh, hey, and then I remember that episode you're talking about, and that's why I liked them, because they do it how I do. I try to go in and debunk things. Am I a believer? 100%. I'm a believer in this stuff. I've seen too much stuff not to be a believer, but I
Well,
always go in to debunk.
there was a case, an investigation they were doing in a hotel, and it might even be the same incident, but not Jason,
Mhm.
but the other guy got
Yeah,
caught faking a blanket
yeah.
or something being pulled off of a bed, and
Mm-hmm.
they caught him in the act, and they stopped the investigation right there.
Yep.
Um,
Yep.
and unfortunately, that you know they are probably enticed to increase their ratings by doing stuff like that. Ghost
Yes.
Adventurers one time had an episode that they were doing. I think it was the Mackey bar, um, where the um, EVP device was knocked out of his hand, but
Mm-hmm.
they looked at it from a different angle, and it looked like he just kind of flung it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't actually knocked out of his hand. And unfortunately, it's done. You know, they are enticed to do it so they can get the ratings, so they can make money, and
Mm-hmm.
that's the sad part about it. You know,
Mm-hmm.
there is people out there that that are so caught up in the spur of the moment, and you never know. I mean, they could have you know other things, finances and stuff, financial problems and all that in their personal lives, to where they'd be more susceptible to be encouraged to do stuff like that. And
Yeah. What?
you know I just for one, I could never do that. I really,
No.
I couldn't.
No. Uh, Larry, if you want to send it to either William or I or to both of us, we'll go through it and listen to it and let you know our opinions on it, bud. Larry asked if
Yeah.
I captured
I
audio,
use
how could I send it to someone to make it
Yeah.
legit?
um Larry, if you have a laptop or something, download the app Audacity, okay, and see if you can get that, because Audacity is a program where you can edit your EVPs, your audio recordings and stuff. Um, and it's a pretty good format. It really is, and I believe it's still free. So that's Audacity is one of them that I use. So, but
Yeah.
yeah, I believe it's still free. They probably
Well,
have a
in
premium
thing,
package too. So.
and to get back to what we was talking about, I'm not going to mention certain shows on here, but I'm sorry, like this one show where a guy gets possessed every single time. Bullshit.
Yeah,
Bullshit. I'm
yeah,
sorry, man. That is 100% clickbait. It is 99% of the stuff you're going to find on the boob tube is is BS. I hate to tell you guys. I know it's cool to watch. Straight up BS.
yeah.
Straight up
Amy
BS.
Allen, Judy brought up a good point too, though, with Amy Allen. Amy Allen is a
Mm-hmm.
very, very talented psychic, and she is probably one of the people that is more like having the abilities that I have, where I see the shadow
Mm-hmm.
realm, what you call the veil. I experience it every second of the day. I see things come through and I see things leave. That's just, you
Mm-hmm.
know, the way I'm wired now with all the, near death experiences and the cancer and all that, and being raised the way I was in the dark magics. I mean, I was exposed to that my whole life. So it's it's
Mm-hmm.
it's like nothing to me. It really isn't. I mean, if some people saw what I saw, they'd probably scream in terror. But it's like nothing to me anymore. It really isn't. I mean, I see it and and it's like, okay, it's really strange. I don't even know how to describe it, but it's a very strange feeling, not being fearful of things that normal people can't see that happens around them.
Mm-hmm.
Now, maybe if I didn't go through what I went through growing up and all that, and the near death experiences that I had, maybe I wouldn't be this way. This very well could be. I think that all has to play into it, some parts. So, oh, you're
Larry asked,
welcome,
"Do you
Larry.
got a web?" Larry asked, "Do you got a website?" I must have missed
Just
something.
all you got to do is Google Audacity. That's all you have to do is Google Audacity, and it'll pop up. And then you just go to it, and I believe they have like maybe two or three different levels, like everything else. They have the pro levels that you can purchase, or they have the free levels that you can have. So,
Yeah. See, like a lot of people like orbs. To me, orbs are a blessing and a curse. Okay. Orbs can be, depending if you're in a building or outside, one of three things or one of four things. outside. An orb can be actually paranormal. It could be dust. It could be an insect. It can also be a fae called a pixie.
Right.
Inside, it's going to either be actual paranormal, or it's going to be dust, or it's going to be an insect. I love, I love, um, I love orbs, but I also hate them because it's orbs. Every time I can, even though all the orbs I caught last night, I'm going to tell you, this is possibly this, or this. The way they move, and because of the situation, I'm leaning more towards this, but they can also be this, or this. Yeah, yeah, it does, Immortal. That's that's how I am with orbs. I love them to death. I really do, but I also cuss them because it's like I cannot definitively 100% say. Now, there's a couple times last night. I'm not going to lie. This is one of the very few times that I can honestly say these orbs were legitimate paranormal, and it's a rarity. But I did capture it a couple times last night, and that's because not only was it caught with a visual eye, I caught it on camera as well. Now, if I can catch it with the visual eye and on camera, that is when I'll tell you this is a paranormal orb. If I do not catch it that way, then I'm going to tell you, I believe it could be this, but it also could be this, or this.
Yeah. Now there was a video going around on Facebook and YouTube, where somebody had taken a still image of themselves watching a certain program on TV, and in the image on the TV screen was a shadow figure standing in like an area of the background. And they're like, oh yeah, look at that, we got a shadow person, figure caught on camera. If they looked at the screen of the TV show that they took the picture off of, they would see that the individual in the TV show was standing by a fully sunlit window, and that was their shadow that was casted upon the wall behind them. And they portrayed it as being a shadow figure, and anybody that's an investigator could have figured that out within 2 seconds, of seeing the whole situation. So yeah, you got to be careful. There's a lot of people that are putting this stuff out there too, that basically are basically paid actors to do it.
They're rewarded. There you go.
They're basically disinformation people, or they want to discredit the field for some reason or another because they had a bad situation with it at one time. I mean, you can't really. That's why I say all the time, question everything, man. You can't take what anybody says verbatim anymore, especially with AI and all the other, applications around, So, but yeah, that one scene from that TV show clearly showed the individual in the still photograph standing in a sunlit window and showing that it was their exact shadow behind them on the wall, that it wasn't a shadow figure. But yet they portrayed it as getting it. They did it so fast that they thought people couldn't see it, is what they did. So, and you got to watch out those programs like Squeezed Lemon, trail cameras, caught on film, and some of the others, terror cameras, classified captures is another one that likes to exaggerate, and embellish a lot. So you have to be careful when you're watching that stuff, because you can get fooled. They could and they could play it so much that it's like second nature, that you're thinking, okay, well maybe it is real. It's not. It's it's them embellishing it.
David brings up a good point. That's why I wear these. Now, it's not just for audio. When I'm watching my videos as well, I'm still wearing these because you'll catch EVPs on your camera and not realize it
Mhm.
as well. So
Right.
anytime you listen to audio or video, you should always try to get the most quiet room you can get and have a good set of
Get,
over-the-ear headphones.
yeah, get noise canceling headphones.
Immortal, I appreciate that. If you like the views from my old camera, you'll really love my new one that I just tested out last night. Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, headphones are extremely, extremely good when you're trying to listen to audio. Yeah. Yeah, there's cold spots is a common thing with paranormal investigations, and I'll admit I've ran into that myself. So I mean, I am definitely one of those that believes a cold spot very well. I will not say that it's 100%, but I'll say it is definitely a good possibility.
Yeah.
Judy says my daughter caught an orb, baseball size, next to me when she was just looked at general pictures. She was investigating a haunted house. She deleted it immediately, and we knew where it came from. Wow. I wouldn't have deleted it. I would love to have seen that. Immortal?
Yeah.
Yes. I'm not
Why'd
going to
you
leave that
delete
one.
it? Why
Yeah.
would you delete it? I mean, if it's something that you thought people might be interested in seeing, I wouldn't have deleted it.
Yeah. Sorry, not baseball size. It was a soccer ball size. Huge difference. No worries. Impossible Channel is
Sorry.
good. I haven't heard of them.
Impossible Channel. Yeah, that young man is pretty good. I've seen some of his stuff. But you know, some of these channels they tend to, and again, it's all about the clickbait. Sorry, I'm burning sage again. So
No worries. Bye, Larry.
we'll see you, Larry. Have a good one, brother. But yeah,
No, I had a feeling you was meaning to, so that's why I didn't say nothing.
Yeah.
So
Uh,
Jay Woodward. Yeah, I'll have to look into it. I don't think I know who they are.
I haven't heard of that. Joe Woodward, yeah.
Yeah, actually, I'm not on the internet a whole lot. People may think I will, but really, I'm not. I mean, I listen to podcasts while at work, but it's usually channels that I'm already subscribed to, and then the rest of the time I'm usually busy working. Which I created a new book. I was creating a backstory for my character for D&D, and the next thing you know, I'm 8 pages deep in this thing. So I did record it because I was going to try to release it last night, being as I didn't go live. Sadly, it didn't download, so I will. I have it recorded. I'll download it. So yeah, a new book's coming out. Yeah, I wish we could recover the picture at the time we didn't know anything. This was a few years ago. Yeah, and that's the sad thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I get it. I get it. It happens, you know. Hey, Vincent.
Hey, Vincent. Good to see you, bro.
He was an elf in D&D. I'm a barbarian dwarf. I've always played a barbarian dwarf in D&D. So I've got part of the title down. That's the Adventures of Althgar Fireforge. I just not figured out what the title for the first book is, but you know me, I like writing books, and then the next thing you know, I've got another one started, and it was supposed to be a backstory of my character for D&D, and now it's a book.
I love it. Look at Roxanne's comment.
Yeah. Oops. How do you sleep with your mind Dude, it is hard. Before I got the job that I got now, honestly, the only way I could sleep was devil's lettuce. But being as I can't do that with my job, this is why I have struggle with sleeping. My brain is just it goes not. I have what's called restless brain syndrome.
Devil's
My brain
lettuce.
don't shut down. Yeah, yeah. I don't know if we can, even though it's legal in so many states. I don't know if we
It's
can still
legal
say
here.
that on Screw Keeper.
Yeah, it's legal here now too. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm like a trickster warrior, DD. Yeah, a barbarian dwarf is just so me, and I get so into the character. And so yeah, I'll be I've just started another book.
Not
Last
meaning
D&D
to,
character
but
was a thief. Yeah. What do you mean, Candy? Yeah, it was. Dude, I've got so many books I'm working on. Y'all can't see it, but I've got to buy another pack of notepads now because I've got notepads of books that I'm working on or have done here. Nope, they're all here now. I've got literally, dude, I love D&D. I don't have anybody to play with, and my youngest daughter wants to learn. So I mean, I bought some stuff, and I've never DM'd. I've never been a DM, and I've never. So I'm having to relearn things all from scratch, and it's interesting. But I got to stick with my barbarian dwarf, man. That's my dude. That's me in a nutshell. I can really get into that character. Yeah. Magnesium taken at night helps on sleep for you. Well, that's a different story, dude. So I have tried all kinds of sleeping pills, and either A, they absolutely do not work at all, or B, I won't wake up for 14, 16 hours. So I can't do it.
just do what a lot of people did back in the old days.
Oh,
Make
no
yourself
worries,
some
immortal.
catnip tea. Make yourself some catnip tea
Yeah,
at night and drink a cup before you go to bed.
I didn't think about that. That's completely skipped my mind. Huh. Of course, the cats will be fighting me for it. Sleep is important, Vincent. It's hard for me. I mean, I have restless brain syndrome. My brain literally doesn't shut down. That's why did it help with my depression, my anxiety, my anger, my sleep, my pain? Yes, that's why I loved it. I'm not gonna lie. I also like the side effects of it.
Right.
And I always like to take and go out 30 minutes before I went to bed and have me a couple partations, and I'd be able to go to sleep just fine. So, but I can't do it in 10 years. If everything works out, I could retire early. Yep, Fluffy guy's gonna be having fun. Candy says, I can't. I work. I'd love to play D&D and write stories. I've got lots of ideas. I am kicking around. If I get enough people interested, I am actually kicking around doing a live D&D game where I get people to come on live with me and we just play D&D. I've
I
kicked that
know.
idea around.
I know Vincent would be into that
Yeah,
because Vincent. I know you, Vincent. You're into the D&D.
I love
That's
it,
one thing
man.
I
I
remember
really
about
do.
our conversations. So
Yeah. Hey, there ain't nothing. We gotta have them. We gotta have them. Yeah. That would probably keep me awake, Immortal. Honestly, that would probably keep me awake. I don't know. I mean, if you guys are interested in something, I have kicked around where a bunch of my subscribers, we just get together on a live one, every great once in a while and play some D&D. Because I have nobody to play with up here. I've just started to back up. I haven't played D&D since Iraq.
he's got nobody to play
So it's
with.
been, I have nobody to play with me. You know. So so I really don't. So because I live out in the middle of nowhere, man. But my daughter wanted to play, so we picked it up. I bought her first dice. I got her a Wizards College book that we could play. I don't do the magical stuff myself, but you know.
Oh,
Yeah,
Roxanne's
I
killing
mean,
me.
so yeah, I
Oh,
mean, what I could do what I could do is just like invite you guys onto my live stream one time. We'll just go live playing D&D.
There you go. You
If
got
that's
you
what you
got
guys
you
want.
got you got Vincent, you got Candy, you got Immortal, Spaceman,
Yeah.
you've got who else? You got 3 right there that want to play it. So I'd go ahead and
Well, I'm
set it up.
working. I'm currently working on my character sheet right now. I just got to remember how to do it. It's been so long since I've done it. I've got to remember. Cryptids and D&D. Well, I mean, you got werewolves. So that that would be cool, though. I mean, you do have werewolves. You do have vampires. So actually you kind of do. But I mean, I'll get something figured out. Like I said, it's been 20 years since I played. So I'm like, I'm doing this going, oh my God, I forgot how to do all this stuff and trying to figure it out. It's fun. It is entertaining. Like my numbers that I rolled for strength 15, for dexterity 15, constitution 14, intelligence 9, wisdom 17, charisma 16, which is actually pretty accurate for a barbarian dwarf. So yeah, I love it. I love playing. I just don't have people to play with me around here. I have no friends.
Giggity giggity. All right,
Hey,
you're starting to get a little strange here.
Roxanne, I know I'm getting old because of my eye exam. I got a bloody nose. Huh. My eye exam from last night.
You got 2 bloody eyes too, and 2 bloody ears.
Yeah, I'm starting. I got to start wearing bifocals, man. I have now have to start wearing bifocals. Yeah, it's hard to see. There's mine and my little coin. But oops. Yep. Oops. 9. Stop it.
Sounds to me like you got a new program you're going to be putting out. That's D&D Live.
I guess I've got a new line. Y'all message me on Messenger or my email, man, and we'll figure something out.
Candy says, I'll be your friend.
All right, I got a friend. You got a friend.
Oh, God. Oh, that hurt. Oh, that hurt.
Oh, all I'm going to say, Candy, is you got a friend in me. All right, girl. All right. Hey, y'all hit me up. Well, maybe that could be like a Friday night thing or something. Maybe we can do something like that on. Dude, it's starting to get hot. It's getting hot in here, but I cannot take off my clothes.
Oh God, guys, I gotta take a breather. Hold on. Oh damn. Oh,
I gotta turn that fan. Yeah, the coffee's starting to kick in. I'm starting to wake up.
Oh, I gotta remember to breathe.
Roxanne, you're so mean to me, Roxanne. Oh my gosh. No, okay, buddy. Come on, you're being pushy, bud. You're being very pushy. You have to get over here because I got to type. Immortal, you got a friend. Show off. I got a friend.
Oh, God.
Yeah, that's about my only Val. That's probably my. It's good to see you, by the way. That's probably my only friend is the ghost that around here.
By the way. Oh, hey Val.
Oh my
God. See you.
This is.
Oh my God.
Okay, I love you too, Roxanne. You got a friend in me. Oh man. I lost all mine. They wouldn't believe what I was telling them about all this, so I walked away. And sadly, Immortal, I hate to say it, I know what you're going through. That's why I was quiet about my stuff for so many years. It's sad, but I've noticed that it's starting to be more accepted nowadays than it used to be. This is my day job. You got a friend in me. That's it. It's daytime. This literally is my day job on the weekends. Friends, but this is important to slow down. Yeah. Everyone's listening and ahead to chime in. Heck yeah, man. Oh my gosh, you guys are a hoot, man. I love the hell out of you guys.
Roxanne says my ears went deaf.
Oh yeah. There you go.
Oh God. Oh
yeah, Candy, you do. Sometimes you have to.
Oh.
Sometimes you have to. I mean, it's sad. I hate to say that, and I hate that it has to be that way. But I mean, I've lived with that for years because of the stuff I've known and the stuff I've seen, and all that. So I mean, I understand why that bothers some people, but I mean, sadly, it is what it is. And but like I said, I'm starting to see nowadays that it's starting to become more widely accepted than what it used to be.
Yeah, I got my D&D cryptid right here. That'll be my D&D
I can actually cryptid. I'll show you. I actually created a picture of my character.
David made these for me. David actually, in the chat, David actually did these 3D printed for me. These are my first two Bigfoot sightings that I described in.
Heck yeah.
Very lifelike.
Roxanne, my cat jumped up on the table. So you out. Oh my God. Hey Joe, how's it going? These hellbillies telling scary stories. Good on you. Yeah. Yeah, we love you too, Candy. We love you too.
Hey,
Monica, it's good to see you. Immortal. Eric Newman and Randy Chesterman. Yeah. Immortal disclosures happen, man. They really do. They really do. And that's why I love doing these shows. I've been wanting to do shows like this for years, but I never wanted to get on there because I didn't want to deal with BS. December 3rd to be 1 year I've been doing shows and look at all the interesting people I've met and the stuff we've got out. I mean, sometimes you just got to jump off the board and hope for the best,
Yeah.
Monica wants to know how you're feeling.
Good. I'm doing all right. It's a process, that's for sure. Still trying to wrap my head around everything.
We're healing him with laughter today, Monica. We have got him where he literally had to get off screen. Hey, we got him laughing pretty good. What was that? What was that Robin Williams movie where laughter was healing? Oh my gosh. It was based on a true doctor.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't remember. It is good for the soul. But yeah, Robin Williams actually made a movie about that.
Yeah, Doctor where he dressed up like a clown sometimes.
Yeah, Patch Adams. Thank you, Joe.
Yep.
Thank you. I knew I was getting Adams. I just couldn't figure out the rest of it. Yes, Patch Adams. We're delighted to have you here, Immortal. Definitely. Yeah, healing the head heartache with laughter. Yeah. And that's the thing, man. Your friends across the pond, absolutely. The thing is, I've traveled this world. I've been all this world. I've met interesting people, both good and bad.
Yep.
But I've met interesting people. We all bleed red. We all can integrate with each other. I don't give a damn where you're at. If your heart's good, your soul's good, your mind's good.
I can't really say we all bleed red because reptilians don't bleed red.
That's true, but I'm talking about humans.
Okay. All right. The human
True
species,
humans.
yes, we all bleed red.
Let me rephrase that again. True humans. Monica, I have been to South America, Ireland, Scotland, Bahrain, Iraq, Kuwait, Kyushu, Japan, Okinawa, Japan, mainland Japan, Australia. I know I'm forgetting a couple. I've been all over the world.
You've been to Guam?
Yep. Guam is a beautiful place.
Yeah,
Guam is a very beautiful,
it is.
very interesting place when it comes to paranormal and supernatural too, though.
Yep.
Sorry, guys. I must have had a bloody nose last night, or the couple hours that I slept. Yes, in a way, it was work. I was military. I spent 13 years, 4 deployments, and 2 ex-wives later. I hung my boots up under the Obama administration. That's when I got out. It was 2012, and there was just no place for us old salt dogs in the new military. So sadly, I got out and didn't retire. I've traveled as well. Fun is fun. Yeah, we are here. Birth and built it. Dude, we're all connected. We're all brothers and sisters. We're all part of the great circle of life.
I love that icon, the yin yang icon. I love that.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the 2 wolves I have.
Anybody see the Selena Gomez foot? No, I haven't. Oh, heck yeah. That'll have, yeah. I've loved it. Now, I can't say certain things that I normally say and why I traveled on YouTube, but yeah, there's reasons why I traveled. Oh, wow. Shapes. Yeah. Oh, we've covered a lot of the videos like that in Immortal. I don't know if Selena Gomez was one of them or not. We've covered a lot of videos about it, though.
Yeah, I think we did.
We just enjoy transparent.
Did you see in the vice president's talking to I guess during a rally that the two people behind her standing there on stage, their eyes shifted to solid white.
Mm-hmm.
That's going around now too. That video. I'm not, I can't speak for the validity of it, but because I didn't watch it live, but I'm sure if somebody watched it live, they would have seen it. So if anybody's seen that video, let me know what you think.
I think that's probably the reason why they failed Immortal, because they weren't issued to me by the military. So when 9/11 happened and we finally put boots on ground in the big kitty litter box, divorce rates went through the roof. Sadly, I was a very big part of that divorce rate.
Yeah.
Yep. 2 wolves is a very important one to remember, Monica.
Yep.
Awesome. Thank you, Immortal.
Monica is going to be getting in touch with her Cherokee side because I told her I'd send her some information on some of the ceremonies and a little bit of the language and all that. So, and the Cherokee the Cherokee didn't have medicine men. They had what you would call holy men. They had 4, almost like just like a priest, basically. One for each direction of the wind, the north, the south, the east, the west. So, but they didn't call them medicine men. They called them spiritual men or holy men. Yeah. 2 wolves. Yeah, it's Joe. It's a legend. To basically that helped young adults at the time when back in the old days that were native people, indigenous, that had problems dealing with a lot of the anger and stuff that we had towards the non-indigenous people that were taking our lands and and taking our children and all that and telling us we couldn't speak our language. Um,
Mm-hmm.
the legend came to be known as the legends of the two wolves. And what it is, a young warrior came to a tribal elder one day, and his elder looked at him. He goes, you look worried, my son. And the young warrior goes, well, I'm so angry right now. I don't know, what to do. And the elder told him, he goes, you have two wolves inside of you. He says you have one white that is good and one dark that is evil. And you're having trouble discerning which one is going to, rule your life. And the young warrior goes, well, which one will rule my life? How do I control one more than the other? And the elder looked at him and said, it depends on which one you feed the most. And it literally comes down to that struggle, something that we've all struggled with, internalizing a lot of our aggression towards certain things, a lot of the aggression, say, even over the politics of today, you know
Mm-hmm.
which is totally ridiculous. Why we have to, the powers that be in this world so want us divided over every damn issue is ridiculous. It's ridiculous the amount of control that they want over humanity. It's like I've always said, we're born into this world, brought into this world as innocent, open-minded, wanting to be a sponge and learn everything, but yet we're being taught and programmed things that are lies and things that are made up. And
Mm-hmm.
it's terrible. And that's, back in the old days, we had these stories that we would tell our young people to show them how to discern from right from wrong and all that. um Unfortunately, there are some elders out there, naming no names, but you all know probably who I'm talking about, um, in my own family, that take advantage of the innocence of a child and coerce them into doing dark medicine magic, as a child. And so it is what it is. But we all have a point in our lives where we struggle with certain things, whether it's addiction, whether it's alcoholism, whether it's a health condition like I have with the cancers. Okay, I don't I don't talk about my cancers very much, because if I do, I'm giving that subject validity. I'm giving that subject a purpose. Okay. It's
Life.
kind of like having a cursed object. Do you know most cursed objects, whether it's a car, whether it's a building, whether it's, you know, jewelry, furniture, only time that there is a cursed object and something's attached to an object is when you give it validity, when you name it. Think about it. Just like the car
Mm-hmm.
Christine in the movie Christine. You give an object a name, whether it's an inanimate object or an animated object. You give it a name, you give it a purpose. Okay, you empower that entity, that thing, that subject, okay, that object. Um, so if you don't name it, you can't give it validity. So if you don't talk about it all the time, and kind of make your thought process as being not there, that evil or that negativity or that illness not there, eventually you won't even think you have an illness. There is so much that our human consciousness and subconsciousness and our minds are able to do that we have been dumbed down since birth and made to think that other people's theories on the way things are, just because they're called a scientist, okay, or a doctor, um, that we're made to believe that what comes out of their mouth is the law. It is life. It is the way it's supposed to be. It's not that way at all. That's why every program we have, always say, question everything. Words have power. Okay. My dear brother Ryan Tremblay, we were discussing the other day a book that he's writing about walkers, and we all know my history with that. With being a part of that. And I told him, I said, you got to be careful. Because the way you word things is going to affect things. The way you respond to things is going to basically bring forth, manifest things, okay? Because words have power. And when you put words into a book, they have more power because now you've got a living legacy in that book, okay? So everything that is written about in that book, if somebody concentrated on that book hard enough, they could make everything in that book come to realization, okay? That's all part of the manifestation process, okay? And yeah, Monica, the walkers are skinwalkers. I can say the word 100 times, it doesn't affect me because I was part of that. But now I use my stuff for all my ceremonies and stuff for protecting people from them, and other things. Angelique Benham can tell you, I've done things to help them. There was a friend of mine that I met through a Bigfoot event and several years ago, and he contacted me one night and told me that he was having a problem with a certain entity, and I did ceremonies, and right about a certain time of the night, he said he felt everything just leaving him alone, and everything came back to normal. There's certain people out there that have abilities above and beyond uh, normal psychic abilities, okay, normal mediumship abilities. And those people are the ones that have been brought up in certain, I don't even want to say magic, or magical, mystical type of upbringings, but more traditional indigenous upbringings where you're working in combination with everything around you. You draw energy from everything around you. You draw your abilities from everything around you, and you learn to interact with all of that matter and that energy your entire life. To where when you're 60 years old, you're at a point in your life where it's like, before you go to bed, you see spirit, you see, the weird things coming through the veil into this world, and when you wake up in the morning, the first thing you see are wisps of spirits of people, going by you, and it's just, you see it, and you get so used to it that it just becomes a part of your life. So there are those people that have that ability. So, and I just happen to be one of them. So, I don't know.
You also got to think too, The two wolves fit side by side with yin and yang. You also got to consider, the Native Americans will tell you that there's two roads that you travel. You have the red road and you have the black road. Black road is smooth, easy, get through it quick. There's no reward. The red road, bumpy, hard terrain, up, down, but at the end, the reward is so great. Choose which road you want to travel. Oh, interesting, Roxanne. I didn't know that. Mm-hmm.
Oh, nobody's saying that people are weak and victims. Nobody's saying that at all, bro. Um, what we're talking about is that we have been affected by the so-called ones that control everything around us,
Mm-hmm.
our thought process, our the stuff that we consume, the stuff that we wear, the stuff that we buy on a daily basis. We are literally born into slavery, and by conditioning us over the years as a child, you got 12 years to be indoctrinated and to be brainwashed. Think about it. 12 years. What does the Alcoholic Anonymous steps? Isn't that the 12 steps?
Yeah.
Excuse me. So,
Don't
it's
ask
a
me how I know.
conditioning. It's a conditioning is what it is. Hey, Poncho, it's a conditioning and a programming. Yes, Vincent, a programming. That's a good word. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
But some people we don't see it until it's too late. Okay, or we see it at a point when others don't really comprehend what we're trying to get across to them. So, but anyways, what are you going to be doing tonight on your show, Eric? If you want to
Man,
go over
I
that.
have been I have been so busy with elections and this investigation. I have not had time to research anything. So what I decided to do, I've got to put it up, is I'll probably do a Q&A about the Pythian Castle investigation last night. So that way people could pick my brains about the place and stuff like that. I've had so much going on. This has been an extremely busy week for me. Um, so I've not had time to look up something to give a proper show. So I just figured, man, I'll just do a Q&A on last night's investigation. And then to Monday, I'll be on with Jessica Jones. She was wanting to have me come on last night, but I was heading out to do that investigation. So I'll be on with her Monday afternoon. I'm off of work because it's a holiday. And speaking of which, to all my fellow veterans out there, thank you for your service. Thank you for your sacrifices. Thank you for the sacrifices of your family so that you could serve. For those who served before I did, thank you so much. You allowed me to be able to serve my great country. So happy Veterans Day to every single one of you veterans out there. Oh, you're welcome, Robin. I do it all the time. It is what it is. It takes up a lot of time. It's stressful as hell. But I ain't gonna lie to you. The extra money I get from it helps buy equipment for investigations. I don't get paid for my shows. I don't get paid to do my investigations. I never charge anybody when I do an investigation. I've never done that. I'll never do that. So I pick, hey, Thriller. So stuff's like working elections, that extra money helps me buy equipment that I need to do my investigations.
Hey, James.
So it's a big help. Plus, I mean, it's stressful. It's a pain in the ass. I don't mind doing it. I really don't. I swore an oath on them footprints August 15th or August 16th of 1999. Or no, sorry, I swore my oath August 15th of 1999. That oath has no expiration date. I'm a big believer in elections. I'm a big believer in voting. Um, I'm always going to serve the people. I'm not in the military no more, but I'm still a servant of the people. So I'm going to serve in any capacity that I can. Yeah. Yeah, it is, Thriller. So
I didn't think that was going to be that windy today, but I guess Tracy just said that my flag got basically destroyed. All
oh
right.
no.
Yeah. Oh well. Oh well. It's just a flag. It can be
Yeah.
replaced, or it cannot be replaced. It's,
I, I appreciate that, Immortal, but man, I'm just me, man. What you see is what you get. I am this way on show as I am in person. What you see is what you get, man. I'm a firm believer in our rights and our Constitution and our people. I love everybody until they give me a reason not to. Yeah, thank you so much, Candy. Um, no, well, I should have read that one more. I should not have popped that one. Hopefully, that don't get you demonetized. I'm a warrior, man. Um, I am a warrior. I always knew I was going to be a warrior. I love being a warrior, and people misunderstanding the meaning of a warrior. A warrior isn't somebody that goes out and fights all the time. A warrior helps the helpless, protects the innocent, provides for the helpless, you know. And when time comes, he lays his life down for his people. That's what a warrior is, man. And that's just what I am. You know, just it's in my blood, man. It's in my bloodline. Every bit of blood that runs through my
right.
veins from every nationality. They're all warriors. So okay,
Yep. Anyways,
okay,
as far as the program tonight, you're going to be discussing your investigation, right?
yeah. So we'll be talking about it. I'm going to be going through the day. I've got, like I said, I've got so many hours of audio and video that I got to go through. Um, so I'll be doing that today as well. I may or may not, depends on what I can get done today. Have a couple clips from last night to show everybody. But basically, it's just going to be a Q&A on the paranormal investigation of the Pythian Castle.
Okay, cool. All right. Well, you heard it,
Oh,
everybody. Next Friday night, we'll be doing Into the Red Rabbit Hole, and we'll be getting more into the CERN and cloning subjects, CNC, not D&D, but CNC, cloning and CERN. So, anyways, but yeah, if you guys are interested in doing the D&D live with
hit me
Eric,
up.
please give him a shout, man. I think that'd be pretty cool just to kind of watch and
Yeah.
listen to what happens. But so Friday night at 11 p.m. Eastern, Into the Red Rabbit Hole, we'll be talking about CERN and cloning. And to Joe in the chat, brother, I know you mean well, but some of the comments out there, it's not, you don't come into somebody's house and start demanding things, okay, or acting in that way. Everybody in the chat is family, and including yourself. So never forget that you're all welcome here. I just, I don't want any politics in the chat, and I don't want any basically disrespect in the chat. You're all family. We need to get along. Okay. So,
And
anyways,
it,
we
a
will
lot of
see
it,
you.
not only has to do with that, but also we don't want William shut down. And you guys, and
Yeah.
I know you may not mean to, but we can't shut our brother down. Hey, Roger.
Hey, Roger. So,
Candy's got homework. I do too. I've got
yeah.
to get with somebody to help me to remind me how to create my sheet. So I got homework to do too.
Yeah, I'm going to be
But
fumbling with editing videos and stuff this week until
yeah.
Friday, and then also trying to get the Rumble channel going a couple times and see what happens with that. So look for that. You guys might get an announcement of a live going on Rumble. So if you are, then that'd be great. Have everybody in the chat. So until then, everybody, I want to thank everybody for being here, okay, and for being a part of our family. And let's try to make this world a little bit better of a place.
Mm-hmm.
So,
And as always,
all
everybody,
right.
peace, love, and blessings to you all.
Question everything, guys. We'll see you later.